Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Like That from Sleep Token and their 2021 album, This Place Will Become Your Tomb. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So let's get in, see what we're working with. All right. Verse 1. Trapped under the surface of your words, there is a new intention, new whispers that once could not be heard, catching your attention, which I do love. There's just little nods, I feel like, to the theme within this album. Obviously, this sinking and moving deeper and deeper, as referenced in the album art and on the visualizers, that every song is at a deeper depth. So this trapped under the surface of your words, there's a new intention, new whispers that once could not be heard, catching your intention. I love this because, I mean, that's kind of what we do as people. We try to not only hear what people are saying, but try to pick up on the intent of how it's being said and communicated. And that's how we root out like manipulation and if somebody's being genuine or not. Some of our radars are a little bit better at that than others. I have grown much over the years, but I would say that I have very much always had like golden retriever energy, just very trusting. And, you know, it's funny because there's a scripture that says that we need to be innocent as doves, shrewd as serpents, innocent as doves. And the idea is growing in wisdom, but still carry this innocence about us. Like, I don't want to be some bitter person, some bitter old person. And I have reasons to be, you know, times I've been manipulated or I've been hurt or I've been lied to, especially when I've come with genuine energy, you know, just being a genuine and honest person, and somebody else presents themselves that way only to act contrary. But I don't want that to change me. It has changed me in the sense that it's made me more shrewd, more wise, slower to trust. And that's perfectly fine. That somebody has to earn trust the same way that you do and I do, you know? So I understand that in my own life. If I betray trust and break trust, that's ground you have to recover. And sometimes you don't get the opportunity to recover. If you have broken trust to some degree with certain people, you know, like, doesn't mean they have to hate you, but let me just put myself. If somebody's broken trust with me, and there are people that have, I don't want to harbor hate in my heart. So I forgive them, but it does not mean I'm going to let you back in. And so in the same way, this idea of him moving deeper in a way and hearing these words, but more than just words, these whispers, these undertones that once could not be heard, catching intention. Not just what you're saying, but why you're saying it, how you're saying it. And I do love too, it almost continues to evoke this imagery of, you know, how you just hear things different, submerged. Besides the fact that you can't really make out what people are saying, there is, at least if you think about kind of internally, there is this comfort or focus that can come when you submerge underwater. Maybe you can't hold your breath that long. I can hold my breath pretty long. And so I always love, like in a pool, just getting over by a ladder or somewhere I can kind of keep myself held down and just sitting under there, you know. I don't know. There's just a comfort. Maybe it terrifies you, but it kind of, to me, just speaks of this moving deeper, but also fine-tuning senses as you move deeper. Wait, talking with razors on your tongue just to provoke my combat. New weapons to snap those final strings just to watch me fall back. Dude, this is really great lyricism. Because again, if you've been watching these for any length of time, or maybe you're new, I tend to first and foremost focus on the human aspect of this, and then we look a little bit at maybe some thoughts on the lore side. But I feel like the lore is always pointing to the human. And the idea that somebody would weaponize their language against you, consciously or not. If it's conscious, that's malice, right? When you do something maliciously, it's to do something with an intent to harm. Sometimes it's, what's a better word for it? I guess the word foolish just comes to mind, but I don't think that's the best word for it. Because I think that in the heat of the moment, we can let our emotions get the better of us and not exercise wisdom, which then becomes foolish, and we say things that maybe we don't fully mean, but we wanted to get a jab in. And so even the sense, whether it's done in malice or in ignorance, it's this talking with razors on your tongue, your speech that's sharp, but you're trying to provoke something from the other person. And so they become defensive, but you're using these weapons that you're hoping will snap or cut these final strings in this person, at least from his perspective, to watch him fall back. Whether that's watch his response, push him into a breaking point, hurt him. That's what I think when I think fall back. It's almost like you're just holding on by these few strands, or like maybe you're on a ledge and you're standing there like pushing on their fingers, and they barely got any grip left, and you're like, oh, this will send them over the edge, dude. Send them reeling. So, but obviously here the idea is things that are spoken to cause harm. Do you like that? And I wonder if this is a call and response. Because the question would be, is he answering like, no, he doesn't like that? Or is it that the one he's speaking to doesn't like that? I would lean more toward he's saying he doesn't like that. Push down into membranes and layers, creating a slow dissection, which just ties from this above. I stumble into your tar trap. In addition to, dude, oh my gosh. This is so good. I would assume a tar trap is like a tar pit. What did the lyrics say again? I stumble into your tar trap. Well, I guess all it invokes for me is this idea of a tar pit, right? Hey, where'd my face go? There it is. Ooh, gosh, do you guys remember Land Before Time? Let's do this. You guys remember this? The tar pit. They survive and then come out looking like a creature. But yeah, so the idea, anyways, I guess it evokes for me this tar pit, but the idea that there's new weapons being created, new offenses, that there is this trap. Like with your words, you've caused them to stumble back into this trap, this place that they'll be stuck and sinking and just, muck and mire. But using these razors, pushing into membranes and layers, creating a slow dissection. But even this, in addition to your collection, it's just recognizing like there are a number of different ways that you provoke and harm and hurt me. And this is a new addition to your collection. Verse 3, fall into your eyes like a grave, all that is inside, all your anger, Bury me to the sound of your name. All your disgust, all your resentment, which this all makes me think of the tar pit type too. Your disgust, your resentment, your anger fall into your eyes like a grave, all your differences, all your pain. Bury me to the sound of your name, all your pain. You know, what's interesting here, other than the fact that this gets flipped, and I noticed that in the song, I almost mentioned it in the React, because fall into your eyes like a grave, like so it's just a repeated line. But I think one of the things that stands out to me too in this is the idea that it says all your pain. Other than it could be the idea of the pain that they want to cause, it is also this adage. I don't know if that's the proper word. Hurt people, hurt people. Have you ever heard that one? Is that a John Maxwell quote? It might be too old to belong to anybody. Yeah, it's one of those anonymous quotes. But then you see like 10 different people whose names it's attributed to. But yeah, the idea that hurt people hurt people. The same idea that generally a bully is dealing with some sort of insecurity or pride or pain in their own life that causes them to lash out against other people. And I don't know if it's this recognition from him within the song that there's almost an empathy. I'm not saying that solves everything and that gives somebody an out, but there is something powerful about seeing when somebody else is lashing out against you, but somehow you're able to see past that to the pain that they're going through. And like I said, that doesn't change everything, but sometimes maybe it makes a difference. Sometimes it's the thing that we need to show grace because we can see the hurt in them. And it's a supernatural thing. You know, if you've been following me any length of time, you know that I'm a Christian. I love Jesus with all my heart. Absolutely transformed my life from when I was a teenager, just absolutely broken and lost. And so everything good in my life, I attribute to what he's done in me and continues to do in me and the wisdom that I draw from him and his word. But I think that that's something that I always found so powerful and admirable about Jesus is the very people that called him a blasphemer, spit on him, punched him, crucified him. And even more than that, you know, before his crucifixion, as the 3 years that he was doing ministry, that's where the Gospels are written across kind of this 3-year period of him doing public ministry before being crucified, that he just had this ability to look past the things in others to see their core and speak to that person. And that's something I aspire to in my own heart, my own life. And I do think it's supernatural grace, man, for somebody to come at you with malice and you have the ability and the empathy to see past that and show grace. And sometimes they're still going to be a jerk. Sometimes they're still going to act the way they're going to act. It doesn't mean you're going to be best friends. It doesn't mean they're going to receive your kindness, but it may not change anything in them. It may not change anything in them, but I know it changes a lot in me. And that's the kind of person that I want to be. Did not mean for that to rhyme. Bars. So now maybe it makes me question too, if maybe with all of that and this no at the end, like it was earlier, is Vessel saying, do you like that? Do you like that you do this to me? Do you like that you evoke this pain in me, this anger that you send me to the edge, that you put me in traps, that you put me on the defense? Do you like that? And the answer from the other is no. No, I don't. So it could go either way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We will flip over here real quick just to see a different perspective from the lore side. So this article says, which I haven't fully, I don't know, I'm not on board with everything going on with these articles, but we'll just see what it says. The album's name comes to light on Like That. While Vessel may have survived his drowning attempt, the ocean was where he first submitted to sleep. See, and that's where it's like, I don't know that it was a drowning attempt. That's just kind of what it runs with. And now he is forever trapped under the surface, frozen in a world where he is forced to fulfill his deity's wishes. The water's a tomb, in another sense, representing the death of his autonomy. It's first flicker of Vessel's resentment. Okay, I don't know. This is another person on Reddit saying that the song is Vessel to Sleep. Vessel is once again reminded of how toxic the relationship is and asks how Sleep is okay with doing this to him, asking if they like that. He knows he's one of many previous victims. He's aware of his inability to let go, no matter how badly Sleep treats him. So take those for what they're worth. Really incredible song. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one. We're eating good.